Okay, this one's best of 7. And we're going to kick it off right now. Mawkzy versus Toxiic. It's the semi-finals time. Both players have already locked in $500 for themselves. They can double that up to 1,000 if they make the final by winning this match. Resh Xram, thanks for the prime. That's a very difficult name to say, but I think I did a reasonable job with it. I hope. Okay, Mawkzy and Toxiic, two players who are extremely active in the Ranked 1s ladder, have been for a long time. Two players who have been extremely active in the show match scene. Two players who have been at the top of EU for a good while now. But Mawkzy a little bit more than Toxiic. He's been more consistent when it comes to tournaments. But Toxic's just taken down Atto, an extremely dangerous and informed player. And, oh, that's a snipe. I thought he was going to be ready for this, but Toxic's actually suffered at the hands of Mawkzy's new pinch technique that he's got. He's been telling us about this. He's come up with a new technique apparently that just has more reliable fast pinches than any other technique, at least in his opinion. And based on what we're seeing from Mawkzy in this tournament, I think he might be onto something. I think he might be onto something here. Yeah, Toxic's up against him. Mawkzy the favourite to win this whole thing based on how he's been playing today and yesterday. And although Toxiic has got wins on Mawkzy in the past, yeah, for some reason when it comes to tournament play, Mawkzy is just a complete beast. He's using the same style as Cucks. It's similar. It's definitely similar, which is kind of cool because we saw a big switch up from the traditional Cuxer style of pinching to one that freestylers preferred to use, where you air roll 90 degrees sideways. 1v1 show matches tended to see that more than the traditional style as well. But recently, some players have been preferring to use the style that is more similar to Cuxers back in the day. In fact, some players with pinches recently have been, trying to do it and recover at the same time, obviously because it's preferable to be on your wheels recovering on the wall. So that's something I've, kind of expected to become meta. However, not Toxiic, Mawkzy's kind of going against all that by just dodging into the wall again. So forget the recovery, let's just focus on scoring is kind of his mindset with it, which is very interesting in a meta that's all focused on recoveries off the back of threatening shots. Mawkzy's saying it doesn't matter, I don't need to recover if I hit the ball hard enough. They're not going to be there to save it. Hey Fear, thanks for the raid, thanks for hosting the match today. Glad it went to game 5 before, a bit of a troll ending there for you. But yeah, appreciate the assistance in covering the tournament. And good luck tonight with the remainder of the NA tournament as well. I'll hopefully be sound asleep when that happens because I've got to wake up early tomorrow, so I'm going to try and go to bed earlier. Nice shot by Toxiic. Standard reset from close range. But with that amount of power, it is going to be a difficult one to save. Just lifted it over Mawkzy. If the title's not updated, it probably just needs to be refreshed on your end. I'll check it right now, make sure myself. I'm just going to make sure it's updated here. I thought I updated this, but might not have worked. I'll do it again. So give it a refresh now, see if it's worked. Casel Pollo Jr., thanks to the prime. Also, Suck at RL, thanks to the prime. Sorry to hear that. It's not worked. It probably will. It's probably just taking a while for Twitch to update it. I've definitely updated the title on my end. Very low scoring game 1. Both players trying to feel each other out. Toxiic, I think, just narrowly missed an open net opportunity. That could be punishing as Mawkzy tries to score his second pinch of the game. This one, missing. Oh dear, Toxiic, be careful with that one, my friend. He actually lands in a very precarious position as he realized a bit late that was in fact rolling into the net after bouncing off his back corner. Toxiic trying to go for a pinch of his own. He 50-50s it through Mawkzy's challenge and puts himself up by 2. It's very nicely done by Toxiic, really gluing himself to the ball. Toxic so far has had a good time stopping Mawkzy's midfield dominance. Mawkzy versus everyone that he's played in this tournament so far. He's just had that midfield control when he gets going. I remember that Luis took a couple games off him yesterday before Mawkzy started and then completed the reverse sweep, so it's not unusual to see Mawkzy in these kind of positions. Still though, a well played 4 minutes by Toxic. Apart from a perfectly struck pinch from the back corner, he has defended everything Mawkzy's thrown at him. I think he should be able to get this. No, not able to get enough acceleration. Mawkzy with too much boost gets the second goal past him. I thought Toxic would just be able to get there, but yeah, he didn't have that last 5 or 10 boost that he would needed to get back to it. Mawkzy pushes a kickoff past Toxic, trying to set up a tie goal opportunity. I think he tried to get a touch as he drove past the ball there, but accidentally drove underneath it. Now Mawkzy's in a bit of a dangerous position. Toxic threatening a demo, playing for the infield. Mawkzy's there to block it, but runs completely dry on boost in doing so. Toxic can put himself in an extremely strong position to win the game here. But the mind game fails to work against Mawkzy. He's trying to get the boost on spawn. Gets it. Perfect timing. Mawkzy now setting up a counter attack as Toxic runs a bit low on boost. Mawkzy actually just taking his time. Tries for the back corner demo. Toxic sees it coming. Mawkzy now threatening an angle shot. That denies Toxic the back corner boost he wanted. Looks like Mawkzy might get one more chance at this, but Toxic just charges in for the near post rebound and does double up on his lead once again. Mawkzy didn't expect Toxic to lunge in here. Took a bit of a roundabout route so that he could set up a counter attack. As it turns out, Toxic was just playing for the aggressive finish, and a kickoff goal will put it beyond all doubt. 5-2 in game 1. Toxic says, GG, go next. Okay, I will indeed end the game for you, buddy. Mawkzy's left the match. You don't have to do that. I've got admin mode. Yeah, you saw it just before he left, I think. It's no problem, Mawkzy. No problem. Oh, I said no. I meant to say no problem. I wrote no. So I'll say no problem, because no doesn't really make a lot of sense in that context. He says sorry, and I say no. Not sorry. Don't be sorry. It's funny how often people reply to the instruction to not say sorry or not feel sorry with another sorry. Somebody says sorry, he's like, oh no, you shouldn't be sorry. Then they just say sorry again. Sorry for being sorry when I shouldn't be sorry. Toxic is making Mawkzy feel very sorry for himself in the back corner here. Boost running out, and no card to play with. And a continuation of that game 1 momentum that had Toxic in the lead. Very strong showing for himself so far as he wins kickoff to his back corner. Loses control immediately though. Mawkzy wasn't able to do anything with the possession that was given to him. Toxic gives it right back. But I think Toxic was trying to set up some kind of bump, probably maybe a boost steal. Both players looking for that actually in the back corner right now as they trade long clears. If you're wondering, like, well, why are these players just hitting the ball at each other? One of the reasons is to try and keep each other honest. You never want to give your opponent confidence to just advance on any one of your dribbling plays out of defense. If they just feel comfortable advancing up and charging you down, then it's probably good to sneak in a long shot and make sure that they initially off every mid boost grab, like what we saw from Toxic there, turn back and give you some space to work with. But they're doing it a lot and looking for back corner demos and boost steals off the back of it. It's not a terrible thing to be doing if you can follow it up with pressure, but it's obviously worthless if you are just going to turn back, give the opponent the 100 boost and not put any pressure on them at all. Toxic's looking to take that back corner 100 now. Mawkzy realized it was being stolen, kept the 25 that he had. Toxic's out-positioning Mawkzy right now with the threat of demos and with several boost steals in a row. Well, he's just boxed Mawkzy off this. 2-0. Toxic is completely outplaying Mawkzy and it's effortless. Just lands favorably in a nice position to potentially set up a shot for himself. Mawkzy on the outside edge. Doesn't really get much on the ball or much on the bump that he wanted. Toxic immediately infield off the back of another kickoff win. Reverse wave dash in the landing, failed wave dash recovery, but Mawkzy's taking the scenic route. Should still be slotting, but he's hit the bar. Toxic's flown into the net. Mawkzy should have simply scored there. Now he's got a very tight angle double. He made it into a triple with a reset, and that was still unscorable for him. Mawkzy failing to punish these slight mistakes that Toxic's making. Once again, struggling to really create much of anything. Toxic's walked right through him. With half the game gone, it is 3-0. Yet again, Toxic comes out on top as both players go for a bump at the same time. Mawkzy wanted to bump Toxic. He accidentally drives past, and he says he can't see. Game crashed, so we'll just pause this and go back to 2:30. But yeah, seems like whenever Mawkzy's going for a bump on Toxic, Toxic sees it coming and just bumps him instead. Mawkzy says his game's crashed, so he's typing in chat there, and I think he's trying to guess what he's typing, because he's written, "I can't squee Tsikazin I resert it Sam E score." I know, yeah, Mawkzy, I believe you. Don't worry. If anyone needs evidence that Mawkzy couldn't see the screen, yeah, he's written, "I can't squee Tsikazin I resert it Sam E score." Like, we know what he's trying to tell us. We know what he's trying to say. He nailed game crashed, I swear, by the way. That was on point, and then it all fell apart. The second half of his typing mechanics were not at the same level as the first half there. Still not really much to write home about for Mawkzy in this game. It's been extremely disappointing. Now, Toxic has, like I mentioned, got some pretty good wins against Mawkzy in the past, but most of them have come in ranked and more casual settings. Toxic's never in the past, I think, really peaked in tournament play. He's been there or thereabouts, but he's never played his absolute best in a tournament. This could be his day to really shake things up by making the final of an absolutely stacked EU event. 4-0 once again. Toxic, the better recovery off the back of a bump in a back corner. He continues to absolutely dominate Mawkzy in this second game. It's gone from bad to worse for Mawkzy. I think he really just has to play as possession focused as he can. 50-50 game hasn't been working. The attempted demo game and bump game hasn't been working either. The hard clears have been caught every single time by Toxic, who's seen them all come in. Any boost steals, ineffective. And when your opponent's playing well around your positional attempts like that, you have to make every possession play count. You just have to try and score past a defended net. You're not going to get an easy open net against Toxic when he's playing like this, and that is more like it. Mawkzy with perfect placement opens the scoring for himself in game 2 after initially flicking over the top of his opponent. He surprised Toxic with a very accurate chip shot to the top corner at the near post. Gshro2517, thanks for the prime, welcome to the channel. Brilliant kickoff again by Toxic. He's got one of the best kickoff repertoires in the world. Everyone who plays against him tends to struggle to make their kickoff game work to the best of their ability. Toxic's got a phenomenal wave dash recovery kickoff. He's got a very solid standard kickoff, and he's got some tricks up his sleeve as well. This is Rocket League, says Mawkzy. He's completely blundered in the back corner here. Panic flip. Bit through the ball on the replay there. I'm not sure if he went through the ball on his screen as well. Either way, it didn't look like he should be flipping in that position. At least not when Toxic is just waiting and watching what he's doing. Okay, Mawkzy's got another chance to play for the ground dribble. This time, it's the flick attempted instead of the low 50. Good switch up, but saved by Toxic nonetheless. Mawkzy tries to accelerate into another attacking position. His recoveries are just that little bit slower than we're used to seeing from him. Big shot off the ground nonetheless, and Mawkzy's definitely wearing down Toxic's defense here. One last shot is all it takes, but that one's off the bar. Mawkzy's going to need one more, and it works. Finally, he's able to break through the wall that Toxic's defense has been for large parts of the matchup today. Now, if somebody's going to match Mawkzy when it comes to the flick game, it might be Toxic, These guys have both got monstrous flicks, using very similar technique, actually. Of course, when you've got someone like Toxiic who knows how to flick the ball hard. You probably know how to defend those flicks as well. This time Mawkzy switches again, goes low. No flick needed. It's the low 50-50 this time. Now look for Mawkzy to switch that up to a flick or maybe a pop bump in the closing stages of this game. Toxiic takes another kickoff possession for himself. Has a reset to play with, but it's a bit of an awkward position. Has to fake it. Mawkzy goes for the demo on Toxiic. Not too far off landing that one. Misses the mid boost. Can he get a demo on Toxiic here? No. Plays for the ball instead. Has to score. And here it comes. It's another mind game. Toxiic flies right by. Mawkzy managed to threaten either just a fast shot on target or maybe some kind of reset play, but Toxiic expecting a quick one. Fell for the slow play. 5-4. Toxiic with another delayed kickoff. Manages to manipulate the ball in his favor. Mawkzy doesn't have time to go for back corner boost. Has to play the ball. He's got a wave dash. Has another one, but Toxiic bullies him off it. Valiant effort by Mawkzy there, but not enough to close the gap. 2-0 Toxiic. Mawkzy would call a timeout if he could, but we're not running timeouts. We're not 3v3. We go straight to game 3. Wow, Toxiic is playing brilliantly here. Like I said, that kickoff game is just so tricky from him. Mawkzy has really struggled to get into a good rhythm. Now, look for Mawkzy to try and keep up that conviction in his offense, though. If nothing else, he did have a good streak of momentum at the tail end of game number 1. Just look at that little kickoff. Oh my goodness, it did work for Mawkzy, but he's own goal for no reason. What on earth? I mean, I was about to say take a look at Mawkzy showing how to make the drive kickoff work. Deflects the ball to his back corner, collects the boost, should have the ball as well, but he's so eager to get the ball moving quickly into position that he accidentally hits it the wrong way. And own goals 5 seconds into game 3. Absolutely bizarre from Mawkzy. He's not had many kickoff wins to talk about today against Toxiic. Finally gets one, and he puts it in his own net for no reason. Toxiic easily saves a Mawkzy air dribble, but Mawkzy's got a follow-up planned. Toxiic with an intelligent mid-boost run. Can Mawkzy punish him with a double? No, he can't. It's a bit of a tricky one. Toxiic realizes it's off target, seals away the corner from Mawkzy, who as well, I guess Mawkzy was the one trying to go for the seal there. I should say secure. You're joking. Mawkzy nearly own goals again. He tried to hit it in his back corner and almost hit it in the bottom corner of his own net. Now Toxic's returned the favour of the tough open net miss. Both players had one. Tricky, but still scoreable. And both players have indeed missed them. Mawkzy gets the ball past Toxiic. Can't say the same about his car. Toxiic bumps him away. Mawkzy's just really struggled today to get both the ball and his car past Toxiic in these close quarters engagements. Toxiic doubles the ball in the back corner. The boost is stolen, but he's able to stay on the ball. Take away the mid and the back corner from Mawkzy. Mawkzy just looks strangely uncomfortable in the matchup right now, and unlike the match against Luis yesterday, he's yet to really establish a comfortable style against the Englishman, the only Englishman left in the tournament today. England and the UK in general, very rich history when it comes to 1v1. You've got Scrub Killer, you've got Devo, you've got Marky Duda way back in the day, you've got Ixo, you've got Flores, and more recently Toxiic trying to join the ranks, even Revsy, Oski. So many players who have won tournaments or made deep runs in tournaments coming out of Europe. Toxiic trying to join the ranks. Scrub a Scottish, well yeah, I said UK, didn't I? England and UK. Scotland being part of the United Kingdom for now. Who knows how long that's going to last. Flamongo 420, thanks to the Prime. Also Magnetic RL, thanks to the Prime. Thanks to 100 bits. The Cringy Creeper, thanks for organising ones tournaments once more, he says. You're welcome, more than welcome. It's awesome to see all the ones tournaments that are happening right now. Thanks to ProDrops, and yeah, shout out to Fear as well. He's running tournaments also to keep people busy in the little gap that we've got between regionals and majors. It's a nice outplay there by Mawkzy as he tries to center the ball. Toxiic rolls with the punches quite well. Can Mawkzy score from a tight angle? No, he can't. Toxic's preferring to chase Mawkzy into the back corners here though, and eventually Mawkzy gets it past him. He's going to slow roll it for 3-1, and he gets his best lead of the series so far. What can he do with it though? Oh, of course, apparently, yeah, Jack as well. Did I forget to say Jack? Yeah, Jack was big in tournaments. Jack wasn't big in tournaments, are you joking? Jack was one of the most successful tournament players. He finished top 4 in Fusion, finished top 4 in Salt Mine 2. He finished, I think, it was either top 4. No, yeah, he finished top 4 in Gold Mine. Yeah, Jack's had a very, very good tournament record in ones. I think he won Fear's International tournament that he did last year. Jack's tournament record is immaculate. Well, not immaculate, but it's immense, I should say. 4-1. Much better run of play here from Mawkzy. Looks like if he, you know, combines this with his almost comeback attempt at the end of game 2, you've actually got yourself a decent run of form. Things seem to have swung in his favor. Toxic's way out of position here. Not sure what he was thinking there, but Mawkzy's missed the open net from distance. He's still got a big boost advantage for himself, and he can play for the boost steal, he thinks. Or can he? Toxic with perfect control punishes him for overextending. Now Mawkzy should have been able to play for the boost steal there, but the initial shot wasn't quite good enough. He didn't force Toxic to land out of position, didn't force Toxic to land awkwardly, didn't force Toxic to use all of his boost to recover the possession. And now Toxic's closed down an attempted flick pretty easily and misses his own shot before getting an opportunity to trip up Mawkzy on the exit. Still a lot of time for Toxic to work with. Full pitch to dribble with. Mawkzy just shadowing off to the side, inviting the flick. Toxic obliges. Mawkzy saves. With a minute to go, Toxic's starting to see a little bit more of the possession. Mawkzy calls his bluff on that pop. Toxic's tried to slot one in from distance. That one's good. And we have a 1-goal game all of a sudden. Mawkzy's got to be oh so careful here. Yes, you nearly came back in game 2, but you did lose that. You're currently down 2-0. You'll feel like the momentum's been in his favor for the past 3 or 4 minutes, maybe even 5 or 6 minutes, if you take the last game as well. Well, he has to play a consistent end to the game. That's much better. Mawkzy giving a hefty bump to Toxic. Now, we've seen plenty plays recently off the back of lost kickoffs. Players putting themselves in the fire line to be bumped into the boost. But if you're more side on to the ball like Toxic was there, it's still a risky play to be doing. It's a bit safer when your car is actually pointing in the direction your opponent's going to bump you in. Toxic scored off his no boost play here. Mawkzy's going to be kicking himself here. He left the ball and had to jump over a little demo, and then he didn't get back in time before Toxic scored. It's well played by Toxic to get a goal scoring opportunity there, but Mawkzy should be able to stick to the ball in that kind of situation. 1-goal game again. Mawkzy trying to make it 2 off the back wall. Not going to take any risks this time. He's having to run for his life. Toxic nearly connected with him well. He'll probably feel like that should have been a demo, but as we can see, it wasn't. And Mawkzy is going to slow play him in the back corner. Trying to run down the clock, but he might get tripped here. Toxic again nearly demos him. Gets demoed himself. That's game. Finally, Mawkzy will put one on the board. But that was extremely close to a tie game off a Toxic demo. Now, in those situations, we're always going to get a bunch of people saying, that was a demo, look at that, he hit him, we saw graphically contact, it was definitely a demo. But you've got to remember that server side, sometimes those demos don't register, so I have no doubt that that just wasn't quite close enough on the server side, even if it appears that it was on the spectator client here. Okay, game 3, no sweep here. Mawkzy able to get one back, and I think he'll be quite happy with the playstyle that he's figured out here. More ball control, more consistent pressure, less long shots, allowing Toxic to react to what he's doing way before it happens. Oh dear, well Mawkzy's completely all in there. What is Toxic doing with this open net though? He's nearly dribbled it wide. You did not think Toxic could get top 4, now he's getting top 2. Yeah, Toxic's never, like I said, he's never peaked in tournaments, but this could be his day. Very dangerous player, very quick player. When you've got solid kickoffs, when you've got the mechanical ability to reset multiple times with your aerial game, when you've got such a phenomenal understanding of how to boost starve and demo your opponents, and even just threaten your opponents with demos to get possessions and shots for yourself, then yeah, you're going to be dangerous against anyone. So stylistically, you know, Toxiic, he's been on the grind for so long. If you've been watching the Ones leaderboard for years, you'll have always seen him there or thereabouts, you know, trying to improve, and all that hard work is paying off now. He's starting to put the reps in competition. You know, we talk a lot about ice recently. We talk a lot about being able to play under pressure. You know, for me, the ability to play under pressure often correlates with players who are putting in reps, players who are putting in practice in those tough positions that you're likely to find yourself in when the pressure climaxes. You know, who's going to make that very important save in a really tense situation? Well, it's probably the player who's made that same save 100 times online under no pressure, rather than the guy who's only made that save 10 times online and no pressure. So Toxic's got the reps, he's got the understanding of how to play against Mawkzy at the top level. Although the peak that we've seen from Mawkzy this weekend has been, or this week I should say, has been, I think, slightly higher than Toxic's peak. Toxic's floor has been undeniable. 4-0 in game 3. Not many saw this coming, but Toxiic is on fire here. Mawkzy looked like he might have made a mistake there, but it actually set himself up perfectly for a counter-attack. Well, how about that? Mawkzy just finding the fine line between an own goal and a self-pass. Counter-attacks by hitting the inside of his post, as Toxiic seals the boost away. Now Mawkzy's completely leaned back on the ball there. Might have even had a reset on it, but the wave dash was still available either way. Usually when players hit the ball a bit too high or lean back too much on their reset attempts, or their wave dash attempts I should say, they end up just getting completely bulldozed. But that time Mawkzy was able to kind of stick to the ball, made it work. Fantastic save by Toxiic. He's going to get back to it with a pre-flip as well. Has to play the ball again though, and he will. Just sticks to it with a wall dash. Toxiic just using 50-50s here to buy himself time. Mawkzy has the boost advantage. Toxic's well aware of that. That time he's missed, and he won't get back to save Mawkzy's second goal of the game. A reset kickoff. Yeah, the flip reset kickoff is actually something Marky Duda was trying to popularize a couple of years ago. I wasn't sold on it, but maybe he was onto something. We just did see it work there. Apparently Jack's saying, give me Octane Mawkzy. You think that's the solution? We haven't seen either player try and bot it up in the Fennec today. Haven't really seen anyone try and bot it up in the Fennec all week in the EU Invitational. Even Daniel's gone away from it in NA, I've heard, in Fear's tournament. What's the top 4 is AJ, First Killer, Daniel, Appjack for NA tonight, isn't it? I think it is. Daniel going to try and get his revenge on Appjack. They played in Swiss stage, I think, and Jack took him down 2-0. AJ beat First Killer 2-0. They're going to try and... well, they are rematching today. Oh, he played bot Fennec against Jack and lost. Yeah, we didn't see bot Fennec Daniel or Dandroid against Jack in my Ones tournament that I did recently, this last week. Yeah, Toxic's just been tough to get the ball past today. Sometimes when Mawkzy does get the ball past him, Toxiic just clatters Mawkzy's car out of the way. Time's running out now. Mawkzy's kind of just ran a little bit flat with this momentum. He gets the ball past this time and it slots in with no need for another touch. That was very close to being a Toxiic save, but Mawkzy sneaks it by and brings this back to 1. That was off the back of a Toxiic failed flicking offense, going way too high with it. The power was there, the accuracy was not. Nice demo by Toxiic. Realised Mawkzy was beating him to the boost. He just plays for the next best thing, an even better option I would imagine. Mawkzy again saves off the inside of his own post. No counter attack available this time. Toxic's retreated. Mawkzy fakes a wall challenge. Toxiic gets the ball by him, but Mawkzy's in position with 100 boost to play with. Another heavy touch for Toxiic. Heavy flick from him. set up Mawkzy with his last goal. Now a heavy touch. Gives Mawkzy another opportunity, but Toxiic just pre-flipping to victory here. And he's going to slow roll Mawkzy for the 5th goal of the game. Brilliant by Toxiic. Wasting just a couple of additional seconds here, and it doesn't look like much. That could be key, because if Mawkzy scores a kickoff goal here, having less seconds on the clock remaining massively favours Toxiic. No kickoff goal coming in, but a kickoff possession perhaps. Not a quick one though. Mawkzy's got to get moving, and he doesn't have a lot of time. Goes for the quick route straight down the middle, but Toxiic's just ball chasing here. He's playing perfectly. Mawkzy needs Toxiic to retreat, and Toxiic says, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to stick to the ball, and I'm going to deny you any chance of scoring 2 in the remaining time. Mawkzy needs 3 games in a row now. What a day for Toxiic. 3-2 against Atto, now 3-1 against Mawkzy. He is on an incredible run right now to the grand final. Yeah, admin FF is really quite useful, isn't it? I mean, I've always said I don't mind players forfeiting in 1v1. It's pointless to play out a 3-goal deficit at, 5 seconds remaining if you don't want to. If you want to, if the players want to play it out, sure, go for it. If they want to use that last few seconds to try out a weird kickoff strat or to throw a curveball at their opponent, be my guest, but most players would prefer to forfeit. That's a great start to the game for Toxiic. He's keeping up the pressure, just mixing up the kickoffs. Mawkzy saved that in an extraordinary fashion, but it wasn't exactly advantageous. Toxiic still has the possession after all said and done. Mawkzy's tried just about everything in this matchup except switching car, like Jack suggested. That might have been the solution, but we'll never know if Toxiic can keep applying the pressure to him. He's just been simply better today. They've played similar styles, and Toxiic has been better. His kickoff's been better. His bumps and his demos have been better. Mawkzy's landed a few, yes, but the majority of the time it's Toxiic who's forcing Mawkzy out of position by posturing for bumps and demos rather than the other way around. Challenge game has just been so effective for Toxiic as well. The ease that he's had advancing into Mawkzy's dribbling game. We'll have others watching this questioning, why can't I do that? Why, when I play Mawkzy, does he see every move coming? Oh, you're joking. Mawkzy has just own goal again. 50-50 goes his way. I mean, that's just a Mawkzy possession, but he goes for the back corner and accidentally pokes it in his own net. This is the second time today that Mawkzy's just own goal for absolutely no reason. He's definitely tilted, going by the party chat. But that one is completely bizarre. I have no idea why Mawkzy has hit that so close to his goal. If he's going for the back corner, then he should be hitting it way more to the corner than that. I mean, yes, he might want to hit it more directly into his wall. He might have tried to chip that into his wall, I don't know. But why, I'm not sure. I feel like he had plenty better options than that. He had plenty of boosts to play with, could have just played for the ball immediately. Could have played for the immediate ball control and attack, but no, he wanted back corner. Failed completely, and yeah, he's tried to bump Toxiic there again. He's tried to at least threaten it, but Toxic's not having it. I mean, that for me is the difference in the bump and demo game today is when Toxiic points his car at Mawkzy, Mawkzy panics and he thinks, uh-oh, I better move out of the way of what Toxic's doing here. When Mawkzy points his car at Toxiic, Toxiic says, I don't really care, I'm just going to drive in the ball anyway. Finally, Mawkzy connects with him in a big way. Only goal separating them right now is that banger from Mawkzy from the halfway line. Of course, I'm referring to the one into his own net. Quilty Cheeks, thanks to the 5-month prime. Also, GOL Gentile, thanks for the 11-month prime. Welcome back to the channel, both of you. Hope you're enjoying the matches today. We got 2 more after this one. Joyous versus Raziers immediately following this semi-final, and then shortly after that, the grand final of the tournament. Great block there by Toxiic. He's got ball control as well. Calls a bluff on the Mawkzy close range fake challenge and slots the follow-up shot past him. Look at this from Toxiic. To not bite on that fake challenge there by Mawkzy shows incredible guts, because that was so close range. Mawkzy could have quite easily close the distance in the blink of an eye. Toxic just had a feeling that that was not a real challenge. Put him in a precarious position with the following flick. Toxic reads Mawkzy's mind. Grabs the mid boost right as it spawns. He's in the flow state right now. Everything's going his way. Gets away from a Mawkzy demo again. His fake challenge is successful. Mawkzy still in a decent position here. Still able to get one through. 1-goal game. All about placement here for Mawkzy. Toxic lunging in, trying to close the distance. Mawkzy snuck it by him. Delayed kickoff by both. Toxic's able to run away with it though. How many times have we seen that today? Mawkzy though reads the infield dribble by Toxic. And he does get a favourable bounce into the middle. I think he deserves that because he's read Toxic well there. He was moving in before Toxic played the ball into the middle of the field. And it was a position where Toxic could have made a wall play, but he's gone for plenty infields in that position, so Mawkzy was able to see it coming. Lovely little wave dash there by Toxic, intentionally landing uneven. Oh, look at Mawkzy's ball control though, quickly in a position. Quickly flicks the ball top corner. Pure speed from Mawkzy. Great control as well. It's very easy to hit that one into the bar when you're moving at that pace. Mawkzy sneaking in for a potential demo here. Oh, he's taking the ball away. So Toxic saw the demo coming and left a bit of a gap between him and the ball. Mawkzy takes it away. So really great positioning play there from Mawkzy. Something we haven't seen too much today is Mawkzy out-positioning Toxic like that with the threat of a demo. This time he does. It looks like he's lost his lead with an unnecessarily all-in move. Toxic simply saves and walks it in as Mawkzy fails to recover in time. No tricks on the kickoff this time. Toxic pushes it past Mawkzy to the outside, checks to see where the Frenchman's gone, realizes he's got a bit of space to play with, and uses that to set up a boost steal. Mawkzy decides to catch and flick instead of firing early. That has walked right into Toxic's challenge. And now Toxic's got him on the ropes. Can he break the deadlock here? Air dribbles high, understanding Mawkzy's on low boost. Goes for the dunk, but Mawkzy saved it. One boost for him. Toxic looking to play the ball back into his corner. He's gone away from danger here. No way for Mawkzy to catch up and threaten any demos there. He's actually hiding behind Toxic again though. Toxic saw that coming, but once more Mawkzy's able to slightly turn the game back in his favour, and now fully turn it back in his favour by defending from the far side of the ball. That's all about the demo threat. That's all about the threat of tripping up your opponent as they land on top of you. Toxic did see it coming, but it still worked for Mawkzy. Now the boost grab for Mawkzy in the back corner, accelerates him into offense. Toxic's there to save it, and he does recover well on the back wall. Final 10 seconds now. 1 goal for Toxic's all he needs for a big grand finals appearance, and he might get the last say before 0 seconds. Jumps over Mawkzy's bump. Mawkzy actually keeps it up for him. Will that prove to be a mistake? Toxic has read the bounce on the corner well. Flicks into position, gets away from Mawkzy's bump. Now this is very, very dangerous for Mawkzy. It's gone high though, and Toxic couldn't read exactly where the bounce was going to be. Reset double miss. Now Mawkzy's attacking on 0 seconds. End-to-end stuff here in the closing stages. Toxic keeps it up again. Mawkzy centers, but Toxic will be able to ground it, and into overtime we go. Now Toxic's had favourable kickoffs, so I wonder why he didn't go to overtime earlier. And once again he comes out on top. Mawkzy thinks he's got time to grab mid. Will Toxic be able to punish that with an angle shot? No, he can't. He's landed right on top of Mawkzy. He rolls with the punch and flicks it by him. It's off the bar, and surely yet no, Mawkzy's missed the open net by a mile. That's going to be game for Toxic. I do not believe it. Mawkzy, in the same game that he own goaled for absolutely no reason, has missed the openest net you've ever seen. Toxic's advanced to the grand final, but oh my, what on earth has Mawkzy just done? Those might be the 2 worst misplays of his entire ONES tournament career, and they've happened in the same game. Oh my, did he overthink that? He had so much time. He had a dodge. He didn't need to try and double jump this one. He could have just dodged into it. He could have caught it. I mean, he could have done anything but what he did. But he not only... We have to look at that again. Not only did he miss it, but he had no recovery as well. I mean, what on earth? We had this as well, by the way, for anyone who just tuned in. I'm really sorry to show this, Mawkzy, but these are the highlights of the game. These are the two big moments. Mawkzy trying to dribble the ball to his own back corner, accidentally just pops it perfectly into the bottom corner of his own net. And then after a tense 0-second play that both players had realistic chances in, it ends with an open net miss for the ages. Mawkzy flicks it past him in overtime and just overthinks the open net. Obviously, he's thinking here, okay, that's bounced a little bit down. Let's just make sure that we don't boom the crossbar from point blank range. So he's double jumped, leaned up to try and hit it downwards. But in doing that, he's hit the post. Like, he's thinking so hard about not hitting the bar that he's hit the post. And Toxiic will be thanking his instincts that he recovered, because a lot of players right here would have just dropped the controller and thought, oh my goodness, well, that's just unmissable. I might as well just, you know, sit still or maybe go and play for a boost steal. No, Toxiic immediately flips back to the corner thinking there's maybe a 0.0001% chance he misses this, and it actually happens. So there you have it, folks. Toxiic is in the grand final 4-1 over Mawkzy. I did not see that one coming. Not like that, at least. But well played. Toxiic played unbelievably well. Mawkzy misplayed, no doubt about that, but Toxiic did play very well.